Hello everyone. Today I am going to explain module number 2, the concept of scattering and practical link budget design using path loss model. Before going to this lecture, in lecture number 10, part 1, 2, 3, we introduce the concept of diffractions, the different models which is related to the diffractions, and numerical base on mechanism of reflection and diffractions. There are the three propagation mechanisms in which the wave can propagate in a free space medium, that is reflection, diffraction, and third one is a scattering. The propagation model is very important while designing a tower in mobile communication system. So let us begin with scattering. So in this concept we define two terms. First one is what is meant by scattering. Then we go to the radar cross section model. So first we define scattering. Scattering occurs when the medium through which the wave travel consists of with a dimension that are small compared to the wavelength, and where the number of obstacles per unit volume is large. So scattering happens only when waves traveling a consistent object, a dimension is very small as compared to the wavelength, as well as the number of obstacles per unit volume is large. So operating frequency for the propagation in gigahertz, for example IEEE 802.16, which operates in very high frequency. So how the scatter wave will be produced? When it's struck on rough surfaces, small objects, or any other irregularities in a channel. So most of the scattering is caused by trees, lamps, posts and towers, etc. Received signal strength is offers stronger than the predicted by the reflection and diffraction in model errors. So in scattering, the received signal strength is often stronger than the predicted model in previous, like in diffraction and your reflection. The electromagnetic waves which incidence upon a rough or complex surface is scattered in many directions and provides more energy at the receiver. So scattering is very helpful in mobile radio propagation. The energy that would have been absorbed instead of reflected to the receiver. So flat surface, the electromagnetic wave, the reflection is one direction, and when the surface is very rough with irregularities, then the electromagnetic waves scattering in many directions, so provides more energy at the receiver. So that is why the scattering is more important in three propagation mechanisms. To testing the roughness of the surface, we use the Rayleigh criteria, which is used for testing the surface roughness. A surface is considered smooth if it is minimum to maximum pro turbulence, means bumps, which is measured in terms of height, and h is less than the critical height. So critical height, which is related to the surface, can be measured in terms of incident angle and wavelength of the wave. So S is equal to lambda divided by 8 sin theta I, where theta I is an incident angle. So scattering path loss factor is also will be measured, that is denoted by PS. So path loss factor is expressed in exponential. So exp is equal to 8 minus 8 bracket pi into sigma h into sin theta I, where sigma h is the standard deviation of a surface divided by lambda whole bracket square. So which gives the scattering path loss. This equation is very important, where h is the surface height and sigma h is a deviation of the surface to height about the minimum surface height. For rough surface, the flat surface reflection coefficient is multiplied by scattering path loss. And to account the diminished electrical field, so reflected field where the normal height is greater than the critical height for the surface is calculated. The reflection coefficient for the rough surface is equal to path loss and the normal coefficient of a reflection. So this gives the reflection coefficient for the rough surfaces. So scattering from the rough surfaces and from the smooth surfaces will be explained in this figure. So if you observe, when the surface is smooth, when incident wave is reflected on a smooth surface, it spread in one direction, but when it is incident on a rough surface, it will be directed in different direction and more energy will be spread and more energy will be received at the receiver. So this will be explained. So roughness is depends upon the surface height range, angle of incidence and wavelength. This question will be asked in MCQ types, so must be notable. Then go to the radar cross-sectional model. The radar's cross-sectional model of scattering object is defined as the ratio of the power density of the signal scattered in the direction of the receiver to the power density of the radio incident upon in scattering object, and has a unit square meter. So radar cross section can be defined in terms of power density of the signal scattered direction of the receiver to the power density of the radio receiver wave incident, and it is measured in square meter. So this question will be asked in MCQ type, so mostly be noted point. So why do we require radar cross section model? In radio channels where a large distance object induce a scattering, the physical location of such object can be used to accurately predict the scatter signal strength. So radar cross sectional model is to use to accurately measure the power scattered signal or signal strength from the object. For an urban mobile radio system, the model based on the ballistic radar equation. So radar cross-sectional model is basic on ballistic radar equation, is used to compute the received power due to scattering far field. So field which is not nearer to, but it is away from the object. So ballistic radar equation describe the propagation of a wave traveling in a free space which is impingeous on a distance scattering object. So the re-radiated direction of receiver is given by, in terms of receive power in dBm, is equal to transmitted power into gain of a transmitter antenna log to the wavelength radiator cross section power in dBm log pi into distance from the transmitter minus distance from the receive. So this is the formula which to be given a receive power in radar cross section model, where dt and dr are the distance from the scattering object from the transmitter and receiver. In above equation, the scattering object assumed to be in far field away. So this is to be remembered, and this region which is the object will be present is Fraunhofer region. For both transmitter and receiver, it is useful to predict the receive power which is scattered of large object such as building or which are both from transmitter and receiver. So radar cross-sectional model is very useful to calculate the scattering signal strength wave when the object is far field away or mostly in Fraunhofer region for both transmitter and receiver. Then go to the second concept which is to be useful, that is link budget design using path loss models. So first one is a model which is to be studied in link budget design using path loss model, that is long distance path loss model. Empirical and analytical model shows that the received signal power decreasing with logarithmically with the distance from the both indoor and outdoor channels. So this is to be remembered, whenever the distance will be increasing, the power will be decreasing for both indoor and outdoor channels. So long distance path model which gives the average large scale path loss model of any arbitrary transmitter and receiver separation is expressed as a function of a distance by using path loss component or path loss exponent. So path loss, which is in terms of the distance directly proportional to the distance, in terms of the separation between transmitter and receiver distance, and path loss exponent, so directly proportional to the separation distance between transmitter and receiver, where d0 is a known distance or reference distance and n is a path loss exponent, and p here which express the denotes the average large scale path loss at a distance d, where the transmitter and receiver are separated by distance d, and which is to be measured in dB. So path loss exponent can be also defined in terms of the dB. So we can take average path loss, large space path loss into d0 plus 10 into n log d by d0, where d is the actual present distance between transmitter and receiver, and d0 is nothing but your reference distance, known distance, which is to be taken in account. So value of n depends upon the propagation environment. For example, if an environment is free space, then it is 2, and as the obstacles are present, then path loss exponent value, that means n, has larger. So path loss exponent for the different environments will be given in table. For example, the environment in free space, then the path loss exponent is 2. Urban area cellular radio, the path loss exponent value is range 227 to 3.5 in the range. The shadow urban cellular radio, the value of n is 3 to 5. In building line of sight, the value of n is range 1.6 to 1.8. The obstructed in building 4 to 6. Obstructed in factories 2 to 3. So this gives the path loss exponent for the different environments. To select calculation of free space reference distance, we have two criteria. If the larger coverage cellular system, the reference distance must be considered 1 kilometer, which is commonly used in mostly. If the microcellular system, much smaller distance, use that time D0. Basically, this is related to the D0, which is known distance or reference distance. For large coverage area, 1 kilometer, and microcellular system, the distance is very small as compared to the large coverage area. So that time D0 must be considered 100 meter or 1 meter. This type of question will be asked in numerical, so must be remembered. So reference distance should be always will be far field away of antenna, so that the near field effect do not alter the reference path loss. And also remember, the reference distance should be always considered if the field is far away or to the antenna, so that the near field effect is do not alter to the reference path loss. Then go to the second practical design for the path loss component. In equation 11, which is to be shown in long distance path loss model, fact surrounding environment vastly different, two locations having transmitter and receiver separation D, which do not consider the shadowing effect. So to this leads to measure that the different than the predicted values obtained using above equation. So measurement of the show to any value of D, the path loss in dBm particular location is random and distributed normally. So to calculate the path loss which present in random manner, in some shadowing manner, so we use the long normal shadowing path loss model. So then adding a random factor, so path loss, that is where the transmitter and receiver separated by distance D, average path loss D into sigma square. Sigma, so we can be expressed in terms of, we can put the value of from equation 11, so we can get the path loss in dBm. So average PL D denotes the average large scale path loss in dBm at a distance D. X sigma subscript, which defines the zero mean Gaussian normal distributed random variable in dBm with the standard deviation sigma, which is also in dBm, and the PL average D0 usually computed assuming the free space propagation model between the transmitter and D0. So equation 10 takes into account shadowing effect to do the clustering on a propagation path. So this model covers the shadowing effect which is present and also calculate the path loss during the a large building will be present between transmitter and receiver. That time the shadowing effect will be calculated by this model. So what is the power when we calculate receive power in terms of log normal shadowing model? So receive power in log normal shadowing environment is given by the equation which is derived from 12. So receive power in dBm into transmitted power of a transmitter antenna, which is dBm, and path loss which is separated by distance D into dBm. So we put the values from equation 12, we get this equation. So receive power in dBm equal to receive power, transmitted power from the transmitter in dBm minus square bracket average path loss large scale in dBm with a reference distance d0, L into m log d divided by d0, where d is a actual separation distance between transmitter and receiver, and d0 is a known distance or reference distance, and sigma is nothing but your standard deviations in dBm. So antenna gains including in PL. So how to calculate a long normal distance shadowing n and sigma, where n is the path loss exponent and sigma is a standard deviation. In log normal shadowing model indicates the received power at a distance d is normally distributed with the distance depend upon the mean and standard deviation of the sigma. In practice, the values of path loss exponent and standard deviation are computed by using a linear regression model, so that the difference between the measured data and estimated data of the path loss are minimized by using mean square error models. So we can stop here. Thank you.